Hello, and welcome back to DocTrack Administrator Training. For this lesson, we're going to look at how you can restrict users from making manual attachments. So, why would you want to do that? Well, in the next few lessons, you'll learn that there are lots of reasons. You'll also learn that you can create rules that will let your users make all the attachments they need through DocTrack. That way, you can maintain control of your archive, and the users won't need the delete, add, or update Windows permissions. In the previous lesson, we showed you one way to do this. If you go to the DocTrack parameters form and enable Sightline Security for DocTrack, then users will have the same permissions or restrictions from adding, editing, and deleting DocTrack attachments as they'd have for the records in the particular Sightline form. But if you want tighter control and security over your DocTrack archive, you may want to prevent all your regular users from making any manual attachments. One way to do this would be to change the permissions granted for all regular users in the DocTrack user group. To show you what I mean, let's open that now. I'll select Group Authorizations and find the LCDT DocTrack object. Notice that this group currently grants all available permissions to this form. Any Sightline user assigned to this group can delete an attachment, edit an existing one, create a new one, etc. So to disable those functions, just change the appropriate field from granted to revoked. In this case, we'll want to do that for delete, edit, insert, update, and bulk update. But we don't want to do that in this group because it's the default group installed by DocTrack. Instead, we'll create a new permission group for this purpose, and we'll assign the new modified group to the regular DocTrack users. I'll start by exporting these authorization objects to Excel. Then I'll open it and copy the lines. Next, I'll go back to Groups and add a new one. We'll call it DocTrack User PC. And the description is DocTrack User Group Progressive Cycles. I'll save it, go back to Group Authorizations, and from the Edit option, I'll select Paste Rows Append. Finally, I'll save it. All right, I have my new group set up. Next, I need to assign my users to it. I'll go back to Groups, select the original DocTrack user group, and export the user IDs to Excel. Then I'll copy them select my new DocTrack user PC group, paste them to the user grid, and save it. Now I'll go back to the original DocTrack user group and delete all the users from that group. So far, so good. The last step is to adjust the privileges in the LCDT DocTrack object. I'll need to revoke the privileges to delete, edit, insert, update, and bulk update. Now, one other thing to remember if you decide to do this, just go back to the DocTrack parameters form and make sure this parameter we looked at before is unchecked. Okay, now we're ready to test it out. Let's log in as our purchasing agent, Paul Adams. First, I'll open the vendor's form. And filter for one that I know has an attachment. You can see here that Paul has full permissions in Sightline for adding, editing, and deleting records in this form. Next, I'll open DocTrack Flex. I can see an existing manual attachment that the DocTrack manager made here, and I can open it with no problem. But notice that my Explore, Print, and Edit icons for the attachment are disabled. So are my email and bundle icons up here. And the plus icon to add attachments is also disabled. Okay, that looks good. Let's compare this to the purchase orders form. There's another existing attachment here for a quote. And these same icons are disabled. But that doesn't mean that Paul can't make attachments here. For example, because we set up a DocTrack form output profile for purchase orders, those will be attached to the PO when he creates one. In fact, let's do that now. And here it is. Not only that, but notice that when he's on the PO form, the plus icon is enabled. So why does that appear if he can't add manual attachments? Well, notice that when you select it, the manual attachment button is disabled. So if he tries to manually attach his new verification for this purchase order, it won't accept it. But here you can see that there's a DocTrack document saving rule set up on the purchase orders form for PO verifications. So he can select that, drag and drop the order verification, and there it is. Something else to keep in mind is that there's another permission group called MGR DocTrack. So anyone in that group will still be able to make manual attachments. That's how you can restrict users from making manual attachments in DocTrack. Now, in this lesson, we talked about things like document saving rules and form output profiles. You probably don't know what those are yet. Don't worry, in the next lesson, we'll introduce these and other important DocTrack rules. See you then.